For almost 100 years, armored trains were used in warfare. Where did they come from, and where did they go?
This is Railroad Showcase.
So, for as long as mankind has developed new modes of transportation, they've, right along with that, developed ways to weaponize that transportation. Trains are no exception. The armored train is, by today's standards, an antiquated form of warfare. But for almost 100 years, it was widely used by various countries for numerous military purposes. So who's to say who had the first idea for arming a train? But the first recorded use of an armored train was in the United States during the Civil War. The Civil War had just started, and the Philadelphia, Wilmington, and Baltimore Railroad was being used to transport Northern troops to the front line. After suffering from numerous attacks from Southern forces, a solution was created. Less than a month after the war started, Baldwin Locomotive Works they took a baggage car and they modified it, covering the sides with 2.5-inch oak planks and covering that in sheets of 1/2-inch boiler plating. On one end of the car, they used a swivel mount to place a 24-pounder howitzer and installed 2-foot doors all around it that could be opened and closed as necessary for firing and reloading to protect the crew. Also around the car were 50 additional ports for riflemen that they could use to help in defense of the car as well. This car was exceptionally effective for its intended use in defending the railroad, but it wasn't very durable against stronger artillery, so it wasn't widely used in other open combat. The car saw its defeat in 1864 when a raiding party disabled the engine behind it, and then they built a large fire around it, which is a testament to how strong it is considering that's the way that they had to do it. They had to strand it and then build a fire to get the guys out. This car set the standard for pretty much all future armored train cars after it. The style and technique was modified and modernized, but fundamentally it was still the same. It was during World War I that they really started to heavily arm the trains, beyond just armor and a few guns for light defense, though defense of the train for transporting cargo was the main use of the weapons. Being restricted to the set course of the rails, armored trains could never really be used offensively. The only notable exception was during the Russian Civil War. As the technology for tanks and other land vehicles, including amphibious ones, developed, the limitations of trains led them to no longer be used in active warfare and are used in support services instead. We do an even deeper overview of the history of armored trains in our full episode. Head over to rrshowcase.com and become a Spike member to see it.
Please leave a comment. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Hit share.
Subscribe.
And remember, keep your hand on the throttle and your eye on the rail.